Welcome to week 10, final week. You just need to do your essays and a discussion post about your essays. So what happened on the discussion board last week? So there were lots of what ifs and worries and all that with genetic engineering, understandably, right? So even if you think in principle it could be okay to alter our DNA to prevent illnesses or even to improve intelligence or whatever, there's just so many what ifs. But so I could go a lot of different directions. I thought the most interesting thread to focus on regards the difference between natural and artificial, and is that important, right? So some of you kind of got stuck on the idea and just trying to figure out if natural things are in general better for you than artificial things. And that's one question. That's not really the main question I was trying to get at with that discussion prompt, right? I had the phrase "for that fact alone" in the prompt. But there were some good points. Obviously, on the one hand, with artificial, with GMO food and whatnot, it might, there's more risk of it having unintended side effects. I've heard theories. I have no idea about if there even is any science behind it, but that's the reason why there's so many more allergies today or whatever. But so you could see how that'd be true. On the other hand, CO June mentioned that water is natural, but purified water is artificial. Obviously, purified water is better for you, so there's a good counterexample to artificial things being worse. So is it better for you or worse for you? It's just going to be totally case by case, right? I should have started with this. What is the difference between natural and artificial? What do the terms mean? I think pretty much what they end up meaning. This is going to be a little bit vague edges to this. If something is natural, if it would occur even if humans weren't doing anything intentionally to alter it, right? So artificial stuff is human created, with some kind of an intention behind what we're doing, right? That makes it artificial, I think. And so it's when we are intervening in the natural order of things. Different points along the way that were related to. Michael made a good point that basically all of modern medicine goes against what's natural. That doesn't make it bad. That's a tricky point, Stephanie, and other ways you could respond to this, but here's an example of a way to respond to that is that there's a difference between fighting off diseases and genetically modifying genes, right? In a certain sense, what medicine is doing is trying to return things to the natural state of orders, to a state of healthy, right? By whatever means we can think of. There's different ways of kind of viewing all of that. But there are some paradoxes, I guess, when you look at that. Really, I think the really interesting question I wanted to get at in the end with that prompt is, is natural better just for that fact alone than artificial? Is there something more beautiful about it? Is there something more valuable about it? And in the end, if there is, we're going to have to think way back. I don't even think we covered it in this course. But one thing I covered in ethics course are these different possible foundations of morality. And one of them is sacred things or holy things. And this doesn't have to be a religious concept. But I do think some people view natural foods in that kind of light, where there's something about it that's just sacred, right? And that's not value talk. That's not saying that X is more valuable than Y. It's saying that we have to treat certain things with a certain respect, right? So those types of moral concepts seem to be what would be in play if we do think that natural is better than artificial. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that's kind of the moral categories that we'd be using. All right, that's it for this week and this last walking video for the course. Definitely keep an open line of communication if you want help with your essays.